What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Cameron Devon Crew in the building, joined by a special guest, a very, very special guest, man, the first of this kind. I am joined this evening by Gurinder. Now, Gurinder is a special guest and the first of his kind on the show because Gurinder is actually a student in the Apex coaching program. And Gurinder has been getting fantastic results. He's been putting in work, doing the self-development, going out campaigning, reading the books, working on himself, building his business, living a fantastic life, traveling around the world in the past year. And now we are in Dallas, Texas together on the first boot camp with me. And we're going to go out, crush the city, campaign, keep it playerish, keep it mellow. And I'm really going to see Gurinder in action. Not for the first time, though.
That's right.
For the second time since being in the program. And I can already tell from your tone of voice in our last conversations, the way you've been carrying yourself, the way I can feel your energy, you're going to be getting a different level of result. I can already tell it. So, introduce yourself, and let's go from there, man.
Absolutely. So the name is Gurinder. I run a technology platform. Basically, we help companies with their building out sales automation systems to be able to get leads, to be able to build customer profiles. And I'm doing that for the last year and a half. Excited about it. And
Speak on that a little bit more for people who may even be potentially within your network. Like what exactly do you do? How do you help people? Because I know you're a really good businessman.
Yeah. So basically, my job is to help my clients, which could be from Silicon Valley clients to all the way to like bootstrap software companies to agencies, build a system, a predictable system to be able to get clients. Right. So I operate more as a marketing company.
Absolutely. Okay. So how did we meet?
Man, we met probably about 2 years ago through a friend, actually, Justin. And we just kept talking, and you were doing some, you're on your business path as well. I was already in business at the time. I was running a marketing company. And you asked me some questions, and that pretty much left it at that. Next day, we kind of connected over the phone. You said, hey, man, I'm going out. Why don't you come out with me? And we went out. And I already watched some of your videos, Cameron, right? And I thought your approach on how to meet people, not even women, just meet people, was different because you came from a place of being honest about who you are as opposed to, oh, I'm this and I'm that, I'm a big deal. But you just came, hey, this is who I am and this is what I have to offer. And you kind of come, and that was very attractive, even to me as I look at the way you approach people. And we just kind of connected that day, and we went out, we talked to some people, had a great time, had a good conversations.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, you've been in the studying the game and self-development for around how long?
For the last 10 years, I understood the value of working on yourself because what I understood was in 5 years, where I am is going to be a result of the books that I read and the people that I associate with. So I was very careful about the people that I'm surrounded by and the books that I'm reading.
Right. Now, how long have you studied success with women?
I would say probably the last 5 years, because what I thought initially was it was just mostly me working on myself and working on my business and getting the money right, getting myself right. But really what it ended up being was, and then you do all this and the women will come, but that wasn't necessarily the case. It's you actually have to go out there and speak to women, which was new. You have to speak to women and let them know who you are and pick the ones who pick you.
So, okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions just to give people some base information.
Okay.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
What is your ethnicity?
Indian.
Both parents, fully Indian.
I'm 100% Indian, that's correct.
How tall are you?
5'10".
How about, so I say that to say you're a good-looking guy.
That's right.
How much do you weigh?
170.
How long have you been working out for?
Pretty much my entire. I used to fight back in the day, so pretty much my whole life.
Yeah, so you're in good shape.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, definitely physically attractive.
Yes.
Okay. So having said that, and how long have you been financially successful? So what I mean by that is, in the United States, if you're a single male and you make over $75,000 per year, that is the poverty line, is what they call that, the poverty line.
Okay.
Now, and I think, we chat GPT this, right? At your current income, which we don't have to say, but at your current income, you're in what percentage was it?
Based on my current income
And your age.
and my being single and my age and not being obese, that was a big one. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's 0.3%.
Yeah, it was super low.
Yeah.
So I'm super curious. Why did you find yourself at a place where you sought out successful women as something that you needed support with?
Because I've always believed to shortcut. So whatever I want, I find the best people at it and I go talk to them. That's my philosophy. So with the whole money thing, I looked at my life and I said, okay, here's how much I'm making, here's who I am. How do I get to the next level? I found some guys who made more than me, offered a course. I say, how much will it take for me to enter your course? Right? And I made some kind of deal with them. And I entered that course, the money side. But then I looked at the women's side, I say, how do I get the most amount of success in the shortest amount of time? And
Because it's not like you had no results.
I've always had results.
You just wanted
I just didn't want the results that I had. And maybe that was my fault because I valued myself higher, comparing myself to everybody else, which you shouldn't do anyways. But me comparing myself, I'm like, I should be getting better results. I should find women who are completely into me as opposed to me always catering to women. Like who are get on my program as opposed to me getting on their program. And that's what I wanted. And I know a lot of guys who have a lot of successful women. I didn't necessarily want that, but when I met you 2 years ago, it was funny. It was the way you handled yourself. You were so honest. You would have literally we would be together and you would you say, all right, man, let's go. We got 20 minutes to kill before we meet the rest of the gang. Why don't we kill some time? Why don't we go meet some women? I said, okay. And the way you approached them, you were so honest about who you are as an individual and where you are. Not talking about all the flashy things that you have and the watches that you have and none of this stuff. Hey, look, this is who I am. And
What do you mean by that?
man, you know what? The night that actually sticks out to me was we were at I think Cosmo or wherever we were.
At the Chandelier, I think.
At the Chandelier,
or the
possibly.
Vesper Bar, yeah.
Right? And you had approached a couple girls there, and there was another guy next to you talking about what he has, and the companies that he owns, and the company that his family owns, and the fancy cars that he drives. And it was you just, hey, this is who I am, and versus that guy. And I'm watching very carefully at this point in time. And the girls look at you and be like, so are we getting out of here? And watch this, because I kind of played that BS a little bit, right? I try to talk myself out when I'm talking to people, guys and girls. But when I heard them say, "Are we getting out of here?" and that guy got left in the dust, and I was like, whatever this guy has is different. I don't know what it is, but it's different. But I was at a different point in my life at the time, so I didn't want to engage in a relationship with you at that particular time. So I'd kind of going about my business, running my business, doing what I'm doing, and the women thing wasn't that big of a deal for me at that point in time. Because I thought I was going to get a great amount of success just doing what I was doing, right? And then it was later on when you're like, hey, you got this program. Then I reached out to you. I was like, tell me more about this program. Then we jumped on the call and, things kind of, snowballed. And now we're sitting here in Dallas.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. That was good. You're a good speaker.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
That's all that practice talking to clients back and forth,
Indeed. Okay, so you've went through a long journey of self-development, working on your business, also learning success with women. We met, you went down your path some more, but I'm still curious. Successful, handsome, good-looking guy like yourself, articulate, well-spoken. Why did you need more support in achieving your ideal dating and relationship life?
Interesting. I've always been confident on the outside, right? I've always been charismatic because I understood that was important for business. For me to get the results that I wanted, I needed to be charismatic. So I learned a lot, and I got around a lot of guys who were charismatic. But when it came to women, anytime I would be around women, it'd probably be the women that I probably wouldn't want to settle down with. I think that was a big one, right? And not even talking attractiveness level, but just talking about them being on the same page as me. That was a big one. And when I saw the people in your life, like you were the guy, like you were the leader in their life. And that's what I was most attracted to when I was speaking with you. But also, maybe I'm not as confident as I think I am. Because, there's a famous saying, and it's not politically correct, but there's a very, very famous saying in baseball where you could tell how much self-confidence a baseball player has based on the girl that he's dating.
Yeah.
I'd never say that, but this is the first time I'm saying it. And then I kept thinking about that. And it's funny, the movie that I got that from was a movie called Moneyball, right? Which is a fantastic movie, by the way.
I know that line.
Recommend it. Yeah. And I just kind of always, I watched the movie like 5-6 years ago, and I always thought of that in the back of my head, right? The more attractive the woman that the guy's with, the more confidence the guy has. I said, how can I be the best that I can be? And I wasn't getting the results that I particularly thought I deserved, whatever that means, right? And that's when I reached out to you. I say, Cameron, look, you're on the path that I want to be on, right? At least some parts that I've seen. What can you do to change the way I think about myself to be able to get the results that I need for me to ultimately be where I want to be in 10 years?
Right. And that's how we really connected.
That's when we really connected, yeah.
Yeah. I want to upgrade that statement from Moneyball.
Okay.
I can do one better than that.
Go for it.
The woman that you have and her looks is a reflection of your self-confidence and worth as a man. That is true. But what is actually more of a reflection and more important is not just how good looking she is, because that should be the minimum barrier entry to a woman being in your life in the first place. How well does she treat you? You want to know how confident a guy is? See how his woman treats him. Is she over talking him, getting loud? Is she subservient, submissive? Is she giving him all the sexual gratification that he wants and desires? Is she doing her own thing? Do they have separate lives, separate bank accounts? I got my money, he's got his money. If you meet a man and his woman is absolutely surrendered to him, what does that mean? When a woman surrenders to you, like my wife did when she moved in with me, I have a funny saying, that bitch ain't got no money. You know what I mean? Like from back in the day when I was like on my player shit. Not talking about my wife, but that bitch ain't got no money. Meaning as in, if I'm with a woman, I'm taking care of everything. We're taking care of the bills primarily. We're handling sustenance. We're responsible. So whatever income she has, I don't care if you're a nurse, a doctor, I don't care if you work as a waitress, a stripper, I don't care what you do. Your money comes into my hand. Why? Because I'm the one who's responsible for making decisions about how the money is used. So even if it's in your account as the woman who is submitted to me, it's still my money. Because you're going to have to ask me about, can I go do this? Can I go do that? And I'm not stingy. I'm not greedy. It's not about taking what you have. It's about managing it, right? But if I'm the one managing it, it's mine because I'm responsible for it. So that's one thing that's huge. The second thing is your woman should be looking. This is a big lesson for all of you. I've never said this to you either. A big lesson that you need to look for and also instruct and place value in your woman's mind in terms of what she should focus on and how to keep the relationship satisfactory for you is not how to please you. A lot of guys are always looking for pleasure, sex, getting head, blah, 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 arm candy. You should be looking for a woman who is interested in doing things that earn your appreciation. How can she earn your appreciation? For me, I shoot videos all the time. My wife would iron my suits and just have them ready, hanging up for me in the morning, knowing I'm going to record. I appreciate that. She knows what I like to eat. I like my particular soup. She doesn't even like what I eat. You know what I'm saying? But she'll make it and then make herself something on the side. You know what I mean? I appreciate you though. She'll call, my mom will call me several times. She was anxious. She always calls me. So she will call my mom, talk to her, update her on what's going on in our life. That way I don't have to have that conversation, as bad as that sounds, but I appreciate that. So when a woman seeks appreciation from a man, then she's actually securing her position with that man much more deep. Because check this out. Sure, you could give me head and have sex with me 2-3 times a day, but I can do that with a hooker. But a hooker ain't calling my mom or making the soup that I like or ironing my clothes the way, unless she's a real good one. You know what I'm saying? But so that's that. Hey man, so the way that you do that is this. When you go out and meet women, all men need to change their mentality. All right, so we just talked about like the difference between pleasure and appreciation. As a man, you should be seeking a woman who seeks to make you appreciate her, right? And actually value her as a woman beyond just her body and her bodily pleasures. All right, the second thing is you need to take her beauty off of a pedestal. Her beauty doesn't really mean much. You know, it's nice to look at. Shit, I appreciate it. But at the same time, it is not what I'm going to commit to and want to devote my resources to taking care of, right? So I'm looking for a woman who wants to be in my life in a substantial way, take care of me, and really help me fulfill my purpose. Because let me ask you this, real common sense question. If I wanted to do business with you, what would be the first thing I should know? What's your business agenda? What's your goal?
That's right.
If I can help you get to that goal, then what? You're going to value me or want to cooperate with me maybe, if I can help you.
Absolutely.
So the woman should be the same way. So you have a purpose in life. You have goals that you're working towards that are very important to you. More important than the woman. So a woman should be thinking, what are my man's goals? Where is he going? What is his vision for our family? What is the direction he's taken our family towards? And if she has any common sense and any decency and any righteousness and any discipline, most importantly, then she would be more than willing to help you fulfill that purpose, vision, direction, and goal. Because who is it going to benefit? Her children. So that's a smart woman. That's the women that you should be looking for. So you have to take sex off the table, the woman's beauty off the table. You have to look for appreciation and service from a woman. That's a good woman. A woman who is beautiful, but really bought into you.
That's right.
And willing to surrender and submit and serve you. And also earn your appreciation. You can't beat that. And that's what the game is all about, in my opinion. I think you'll never have more peace, satisfaction, and calmness and fulfillment as a man than having a woman who is filling that role. And I think deep down on some level, all men are seeking that. You know what I mean?
I couldn't agree with more. I think what ends up happening is a lot of men have this perverted thought in their mind that they could get any woman they want if they just made enough money. Right? And I'm around a lot of different circles where guys make a lot of money, right? And they think, oh, I could get anybody that I want. I just got to focus on my business for now. And they end up being single for the next 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years because they never find a woman that could submit to them. But ultimately, I think women are also looking for somebody who is superior to them, right? Not in a do what I say, but in a very respectful tone. Hey, I'm the leader of this family, and you are following my lead. I think most women are looking for that, you know? But you have to find the women. In fact, we're listening to a message today by a guy, and his attitude, the same thing that you say, don't pick the woman that you like. Pick the woman that likes you, because she is going to be receptive to your leadership, right? As opposed to trying to convince the girl that doesn't really like you that much. She's kind of putting up with you. Because what we were talking about yesterday, those type of women, and my grandmother said this actually. I won't say any names. My grandmother was like, when she met this person's now ex-wife, she's like, her eyes were darting all over the place. When she came into my grandmother's house, her eyes were darting. Women whose eyes dart, like they look around a little bit too much, those are the type of women that are always thinking like the grass is greener on the other side. But now this person and that woman is divorced, because that's exactly the situation that you had told me about.
She was looking for something else.
She's always been looking for something else, because
She was settled.
she settled. But when this person approached her, he was trying to be all that he can be. You know, he wore the expensive suits, he had the expensive cufflinks, he had the expensive watch. And then when she got to find out who he really was, then she started looking, oh, the grass might be green on the other side.
Yeah.
As opposed to what you say. Because one of the things you say is, hey, be true to yourself. Don't lie. If my name is Gurinder, I'm not going to introduce myself as Gary or G. I'm going to introduce myself as my full name.
100%.
Right? And just don't lie and just tell the truth from the get-go. In fact, be so brutally honest in the beginning, trying to make her not like you, then eventually then you start actually being charming and sweet, you know?
Yeah, it works better that way than you kiss an ass.
Yeah.
Right, 100%. You kept saying the word honesty, and I was going to ask you, like, what did you mean by that? Now I get it. You're talking about self-love.
Yeah.
Acceptance.
Exactly.
Allowing yourself to be who you are. Not trying to fabricate, not trying to hide, not trying to cover, not trying to show a false image. Just actually be who you are and let the chips fall where they may, man. You know what I mean? That's why I love campaigning, because campaigning is different than promoting yourself to a woman. Promoting yourself to women is going out having canned lines. And I want to get into that a little bit. You know what I mean? But going out having canned lines is doing what? You're trying to impress the woman. Why would you do that? Why would you try to impress a woman? Because you think she's up here and you feel down here. That's why you feel the need to have lines. That's why you feel the need to be entertaining, funny, charismatic, etc. I mean, I am all those things. But to be honest with you, bro, like a lot of times when I go out, I'm like mad chill. Like I actually don't say a lot. I ask good questions, and I be laying back, man. Like it's a long day. I worked all day. I'm talking to you, baby. So like I'm asking you questions. I already look good. I'm not over here like running my mouth, making sure my voice is deep, projecting, being loud, alpha. I don't do that shit when I game. I actually don't. You know what I mean? I put the energy and attention on them. But men who feel a need to upstage the woman is coming from a deficiency within himself as a man. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
A man who does that doesn't like himself that much.
Because he's lying to himself. And I got around a lot of guys, right, who had these canned lines and they weren't necessarily true. And regardless of what any man says, every single man has read the book called The Game. Every man, right? And that book is basically talking about, you know, this guy going through his journey of meeting women, picking up women, whatever. And what you notice, a lot of the guys that teach that method, they tell you canned lines. So you go out, you tell a woman this. You insert certain things in your stories to make you look more higher value. But even if those things aren't true, you still say it because the women, in the women's eyes, like you're a high value. That's based off lies. And eventually the woman's gonna find out who you really are in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, then divorce your ass. As opposed to what the first day when we were talking, literally 2 years ago, your attitude is like, bro, just go say hi. And I've always been good at that. That's one thing I've actually been good at. I go out to somebody and I could say hello to them, right? But your attitude was, it's more than that. Just, dude, just put the tension on them and just be as honest as possible from the get-go. Just, why are you here? I'm trying to get to meet people. That's why. And they respond to that. They're like, oh, their guard goes down and they just want to talk to you now and they want to chop it up.
100%. Yeah, man. Like it's so interesting. If you want a woman to think that you're confident or to feel that you're confident, you don't do it by telling stories and bigging yourself up and being larger than life and grandiose. You show a woman that you're confident. Number one, based on the way that you dress, the way you carry yourself, the way you project your voice and articulate yourself, your eye contact. The eyes are the windows to the soul. You can't beat that. If you're insecure in any way, a woman's gonna see it through your eyes, hear it through your voice, and then see it through your body language in order. Now, the subtleties really come from when a group of women are sitting in a restaurant at a booth, and I walk up and I go, "Excuse me," and they look and I go, "I didn't mean to interrupt y'all's meal and conversation, but I just wanted to give y'all a compliment. Y'all were so well dressed. I just had to let you know that." And then maybe they look not totally receptive, but it doesn't throw me off. Then they know I'm confident. It's little things. If I'm talking to a woman and a guy comes in and tries to step over my game, and I just step back and relax and wait for the gnat to go away, and then the woman realizes how non-reactive I was, that's how she knows I'm confident.
Fascinating.
When things don't go the way you want them to go, but it doesn't phase you, that is how people in general know you're confident, grounded, and centered, and emotionally in control of yourself, and not dependent on things to go well. Think about that. I have what I need. That's what being a player is all about. Being a player is not about getting a woman. I've never told a student, hey, go out and get a woman tonight. I don't. I say campaign. I say dress as good as possible. Do your self-development. Feel as good as possible. Look, walk, talk as good as possible. But I've never said, go get a woman to make yourself feel better about you, who you are. Because it's not, number one, it's not. Number two, it is all about contentment, not complacency. But I'm good. Hey, how y'all doing tonight, loves? Oh, we're doing good. We're just out hanging out. What about you? Baby, I'm always good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is. If you need something, that's the fastest way to push a person away from you.
Exactly.
When you don't need the money, that's when you close the client.
That's the easiest deal you're ever going to make.
100%. When you don't need that, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's when you will get it that night.
Man, what's crazy about that is what you're saying is 100% dead on. You got to be so non-reactive. And women don't want somebody who's reactive to their emotions. Like, woman one day will go super mean and aggressive, and she wants this done a certain way. You're not doing this and this and that. And if the guy reacts to it, he loses. But if the guy just holds his frame and he's centered all the way like this, when the woman's going like up and down, the woman's going to be more attractive to that guy. Like, even some of the books that you recommended, you know, I bought one about a month ago when you recommended it, The Way of the Superior Man. You know, as going through that book, I was like, oh, that answers a lot of questions that I've had that nobody's ever addressed, right? So that was definitely shifted my mind to thinking what women truly want.
100%, 100%, which is a whole deep subject. Okay, I want to ask this. So you're, okay. I want to go somewhere, but I want to back up first.
Go for it.
Okay. You were at a certain place, you had certain challenges, certain goals, all right? You joined the Apex program. What did you think it was going to be like? And then what was it like?
Biggest thing, when I keep in mind, I already had an expectation of who you were because I've met you 2 years ago.
Right.
So it wasn't like I was going in cold, right? I knew how you moved, I knew how you reacted to certain things. So I already had an expectation of where things would end up in a month from now. So to answer your question, what did I think it was? Where did I think, then what did it end up being? In the beginning, you think that it's all about, oh, he's going to give you a special line, right? Or he's going to tell you to walk a certain way, but it's none of that. All that ends
like
up,
how to talk to girls.
like, it's how you talk to, but it's none of that. It's not how you talk to girls. It's literally, you are enough. You have this, and this going for you. You're enough. Now,
But getting there wasn't, it's not that straightforward. Even though it sounds like it.
it does sound like
I remember the day you had the epiphany. You were like, Cam, it's about me.
Exactly. And you know, when talking to you, all we really go back to is me. It's never about what I say or how I walk a certain way or I say certain things or when they say this or you say this. It's always been about, dude, you're this, and this. Just relax. Go have fun. Just go find the women who are most receptive to you as opposed to you wanting that woman that you think is attractive, but she's not really that into you, you wanting her.
Yeah.
So your biggest thing was just belief, man. You're like, dude, your attitude literally was, if you saw yourself the way I see you, you saying this to me,
Yeah, I remember that.
like, dude, you'd be a freaking rock star. But what I find is when I even hear you on calls with your clients, you're the exact same way. Because you truly believe in a lot of these guys. You're like, dude, I believe in you so much. I just wish you would do this one thing that I'm asking you to do. but they just don't have enough belief in themselves.
So that's interesting. It is true. If you believed in yourself, there is nothing that you couldn't accomplish. We've all heard that. It sounds so cliche. It sounds like Disney almost. But it's fucking true. Like, everything I've ever done in my life, I wanted it when I was a little kid. I dreamed about it. I aspired towards it. I studied. I worked hard for it. But getting to the place where I actually achieve certain things, when you achieve it, then you're still in this moment of feeling surreal. Like, wow, holy shit, I actually did it. Like the bluff worked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said I believed it. I didn't believe. But I fooled them motherfuckers and I got it. Oh shit, I'm here now. You know what I mean? What is the process like whenever I'm talking to you? Because I've not given you belief. I'm not giving you belief. I've actually not like done a whole lot. I mean, you know, affirmations, gratitude, visualization. That's the pyramid theory. But I've not actually spent a lot of time making you more confident. What do we mostly talk about, honestly?
Majority of the time what we talk about is telling yourself the truth about who you are.
No. What we talk about is what's holding you back.
Can you expand on that?
Limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Insecurities. Going back into your past. Experiences that hurt you. How much of our program is kind of therapeutic? Now, a lot of it is gassing you up, talking about all that positive stuff.
Right,
but a lot of it really is these deep conversations. And then finding out the motivation too, though.
Finding the motivations, and sure. But again, it goes back to telling you about the truth of who you are.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So exactly what you're talking about. Well, why do you believe the certain thing that you believe? But dude, that's not true. The truth is this. Do you agree with that? And when you frame it in a certain way, and you really try to put somebody, because you can look at two different things and have two different opinions on it, right? But when you position a certain way, you're like, oh, that's actually a gift that I've always had. That makes you feel better about yourself. Yeah. Then you could go out in the world and you just be like, man, I am 10 feet tall and bulletproof.
It's who you are.
I say that a lot.
I love how you say that.
Yeah, because you truly are 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And going back to what you're saying about the women thing, women really are looking for a guy who could lead them in the right direction. Like, yeah, a lot of women say like, oh, women are, you know, women's movement, all the different stuff. Dude, most women that fell into that feminist trap and fell into that, they got to be the man, they got to earn all the money. By the time they hit 40 years old and they got two kids, they're like, dude, I just want a man to take care of me.
100%.
And I hear it so often, even the people that have been divorced.
Women, get my shit right because this is going to be a reel. Women are perpetually insecure. And the reason for that is that innately they need a man for completion, whereas we don't need a woman for completion. The reason is this. It's a couple of things. Let me collect my thoughts. Damn, where's I going with this? Hang on. Got it. One. Yeah. Yeah. Women are perpetually insecure. And the reason is because women innately are dependent on a man for completeness. And we are not. Men can actually thrive and succeed independent of having a particular woman in their life. A band of brothers can bond together and form a society. Now, they can't progenate. They can't produce offspring, but they can sustain themselves. Women historically just cannot. At the risk of sounding like Andrew Tate, it's the truth. When a woman gets pregnant, she is totally vulnerable. That is why women's evolutionary biology makes them select men with much more acuteness to detail than how we select female partners for mating. Mm-hmm. Because when we get them pregnant, we don't need them to provide sustenance and security. Mm-hmm. When a woman is pregnant, she's not climbing trees getting figs. She's not hunting down a mammoth, and she's not fending off a warring tribe. Mm-hmm. She needs a man to do that for her. So women are dependent in that way. Also, when it comes to the mind, women are dependent on a man for logical decision making. Women are emotionally led. It's hormonal, it's biological, it's the truth. I'm not saying a woman can't be extremely logical and be a mathematician or a physician or a physicist. They can do all that. But a woman who is truly in her feminine and who is in that mode in life where her hormones and emotions are governing her life, especially with children, she's going to be in an emotional state of mind. She needs a man to counterbalance her thinking. So that's the second stage of dependence on a man. They also need physical protection and security. Women can't fight men. It's just that simple. If that was the thing, rape against men, I mean by women, is not really a thing. Women getting raped is a thing. So women are physically inferior to men, so they need men. That's the third way. And even spiritually, it says it in the Bible. A woman can't lead a congregation. A woman needs to have her understanding of the doctrine and her, I don't want to say her connection to God, but the Word of God through a man who is steeped in the Word of God. But a woman resting on her own, now she needs to have her own connection with God now, but that understanding, that's why the male minister is a thing, and that's why the father in the home is how the woman is supposed to, again, take a backseat and let the man lead the house by being connected to God himself. See what I'm saying? So women are dependent on men.
I think most religions say that, where the man is connected to God and the woman is connected to God through the man.
That's correct.
It's actually a religious thing in a lot of different religions,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I would agree with that. But women don't want to be the man. They want to be feminine in nature. They want to take care of children, and they want to be emotional. They want to go they're like this with their emotions, but the man has to be the one that's straight. Once the man is emotional, the woman has to be the constant emotional state of the family, but that's too much for her. And
It's stressful,
difficult,
man.
yeah.
It's stressful. Like literally, so if you look at like the military, for example, so like when women go to war, do you know that they actually biologically change to adapt to the harsh realities of conflict?
Interesting.
They lose their period and they get more testosterone.
I did not know that.
That's a fact. You can look that up.
Oh, wow, okay.
100%. A woman is loved and appreciated. Like, think about your grandmother, right? Your grandmother, your great grandmother. They're soft, they're sweet. That's how you look at them. You would never let anybody harm them, talk crazy to them. You would protect them, take them out to eat. You want to make sure they're fine. Why? Because it's that soft, vulnerable, loving nature, that nurturing nature of a woman that we really appreciate and crave. Because we live in a world where everything is so harsh. You're always thinking, you're always goal-oriented, you're always working, you're always having to defend yours. That when you have grandma is just the innocent, sweet angel, right? That is the dessert of my life. And that's what your wife should be.
Fascinating. I like how you said the dessert of your life.
The enjoyment, the dessert of my life. All the harsh things that we go through are for the woman. Why do you want to be successful? To have a woman that you can take care of. Why do you want a nice car? To attract a woman and drive her in. Why you want a ranch with horses? To make your daughter happy. You know what I mean? We don't do that to impress another dude.
We'd be happy on a couch.
100%.
All we need is a couch to sleep on and some food in the fridge. I'm good. Yeah, I agree with that.
And a lot of these things might even sound misogynistic, but is it really?
Not when you
We
break
worked the
it.
last 10 years to be as successful as we are so we can take good care of a woman. You know what I mean? But I just want submission. And I just want you to follow me so I can take care of you.
But women want that. If they're honest with themselves, by the time they hit 40 and they have 2 kids or 3 kids, they're just like, dude, I don't want to work anymore.
But it's too late at that point.
But that's when they realize it.
But it's too late. Because if you already left your husband and you're once or twice divorced.
You're 40 years old and you're divorced, you have 3 kids.
And then when Gurinder's 50 and he's still good looking and you're kind of wrinkly, he's going to look at you And then he's gonna see a 25-year-old behind you that's also looking at him and be like,
Oh.
I'm sorry,
I'll call you later. I'll be back.
I'm sorry, Eustace. Excuse me. What's your name? Stacy. No, I'm playing, but yeah. Yeah, for real, for real.
It's only funny because there's a bit of truth in there. Yeah, man, but what you're saying is true, man. You know, so going back to where I thought you were different, right? As opposed to, because me doing things on my own, I always had the belief, you know, if I want to kind of speed through life and get the skills that I need, just go find the people that are already there, right? For the money thing, go find the people that are there for the money thing and ask them, what will you charge me to coach me for 10 hours a month? They'll give me a price, and if I could make it work, okay, here's a check for whatever you asked for. Just coach me, teach me what you have. As long as I get to even 50% of what you have, I'm happy. And I looked at the way you moved, right? And how honest you were about who you are and what you truly want. I was like, maybe it's not exactly what I want, but you're honest about what you want. As long as I can be honest about what I want at that level, I accept it. So that's when I looked at you. I said, okay, this is the guy that's gonna take me under his wing and really teach me how he goes about his business, right? And how you meet people, how you introduce yourself to people. It's very charming, even though we were today at Whole Foods. And even, I didn't hear a single word that you said, but your just demeanor was so charming and charismatic as I was just kind of sitting back. And I was like, that's interesting. You know, you notice a lot of those things and how black women approach you.
It's facts. Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay. So wrapping up. So what are you most looking forward to this year?
Man, what I'm looking forward to most year, my biggest goal, and I'll play this back in 12 months, is to get married. 100%. I don't care about... Now, I care about being attractive to a lot of different women, but I think the coolest thing that I could have is by this time be married 12 months from now.
Yeah.
By far. I have zero interest in sleeping, and I'm not just saying this, because even if my mom sees this, I'm saying it's genuinely who I am, because I could care less about what other people are going to think of me if it's the truth. I could care less about being dating a lot of different girls and doing all these different things, running around. I don't care about that. Because my mission and purpose at this point in time is working on my business.
Yeah.
And if in the next 12 months, if I can find a woman who I'd be like, I can marry this girl, and I end up marrying her, I've got everything I ever wanted.
You want your right hand.
I want my right hand. But I want my right hand, not just any right hand, because I'm glad you brought this up. I don't, at the risk of being too vulnerable, I don't just want my right hand to be some woman that I live with. Kind of my roommate that you just once in a while knock boots. I want a woman who completely serves me, and I serve her, right? I want a woman who knows what I want for breakfast and it's already made. I don't mean to snap my hands, but I mean it though, low key, right? I want a woman who's totally in tune.
It's 6:30.
where the hell's my lunch? Where's my breakfast? But she's totally in tune with exactly what I want, and she spends all of her day thinking about how can I serve Grindr, and majority of my time is spent how can I serve the clients that I'm serving, to ultimately serve her.
Exactly.
I think that'll be the coolest thing in the world. Imagine a woman who completely is there to serve you, dude. That literally is the perfect life. In fact, you know what's funny about that? I know a guy who's not divorced. He had that perfect life. He had the 3 kids, right? And I remember him this sticks out to me, man, for whatever reason. We could cut this out if you want, but...
No.
Right? And it was a Friday night. I was over at his house, and he's cutting the grass on a Friday night. And his wife is home, and at that time, they had 2 kids. And he's swearing. He's like, oh, he's depressed. He's like, oh, man, it's a Friday night. I'm cutting the grass. I should be downtown. And I remember I think I was, I don't know, like 25 at the time. And I'm like, man, like even when I was 25, I was like, bro, I would kill to have what you have. Because I'm going out later that night. I'm seeing some friends. We're going to talk to some girls. And nothing's going to come of it. But you already have the woman that you want to always marry, an attractive girl. You have the 2 kids. I was like, dude, and I'm like, you have everything that I want. and you're still upset that you don't get to you don't get to spend a Friday night drinking downtown, and now 10 years later he's divorced, and now he has nothing. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. What he had is what I want. So, bro, like,
that's the worst thing that can ever happen. It's just the same as true with a lot of women. You have a man taking care of you, giving you the life that you always wanted, giving you children. Okay, maybe he's not as home as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's not as emotionally available as you would like with your girlfriends. But imagine you had no man and no kids. Or when you divorce him and then you think back, wow.
And nobody wants you now.
Or even if they do, they're not him.
Because you can never get what he is. And I
You're
think...
only going to downgrade.
Bro, you're only going to downgrade.
As a woman, you're going to downgrade.
Because I think about that guy that I'm thinking about right now. I'm like, what would he give to go back in time and be so grateful that he gets the opportunity to cut the grass on a Friday night while his wife is putting their youngest child to sleep? He would give 10 years of his life.
Everything.
He would give up everything to get that back.
Everything.
And I'm looking at that going like, okay, here are the mistakes that I don't want to make. So and kind of wrapping it up and going back to what you were saying, I don't want a woman who's argumentative, who wants to fight me all the time, who, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing this. I literally want a woman who's there to serve me. And that's the type of woman I want to marry. And what I bring to the table is I will do whatever I can. And I'm working all these different things, but I understand work is secondary to your family. Like, I've always understood that. That's what our parents instilled in us from the get-go. So I'm working to doing all these things, even though I enjoy what I do and I think it adds value in the market and all these different things. But the money and the energy that I get is to serve the family that I'm looking to build. So this is how we linked up. Because whatever I was doing before this, talking to the girls, wanting the girls who didn't want me, that wasn't going to get me there. And I deep down, even though I didn't necessarily believe it, I understood that, right? In fact, one time I was going out with a girl, not too long ago actually, and literally I knew like the fourth time I met this girl, she was very attractive. Fourth time I met this girl, I was like, she's not for me, man. I need to leave her now. But I didn't have the strength to leave her. Mm-hmm. And I promise you, as I'm going to my work, as I'm going to my job, right? I was like, God, I know this woman is not right for me. You gotta help me lead this woman and go down a different path, right? And bro, not even joking, a week later, like things just kind of fizzled out. You know, they didn't go anywhere. And I was grateful, but I was still hurt and sad on the inside because, of course, it's normal, right? Yeah, man, because I always knew what I wanted, and I didn't want to steer away from that. And now we're sitting in Dallas.
Hey, we're about to go campaign tonight, man. It's the boot camp tonight, bro.
That's right, bro. And I also want to talk about campaigning.
Okay,
it's a different mindset, right?
All right. Talk about campaigning versus promoting.
Okay, so
talk about campaigning versus what you learned from PUA.
Okay, so when I go out, even before like the pickup and all that stuff, you would go out thinking you would convince every woman to date you because you are the man, right? But that's not the case, because you'll want the woman that don't necessarily want you. But what Cameron, and this is the first time I ever heard it, right? After I met him 2 years ago, he's like, bro, get away from all that stuff, man. Like, you can't get everything you want in life. Just go find the things that need you the most. Go find the women that need you, right? That's where the term, I don't know if you came up with it, but you told me about a term called campaigning. You're just gonna go out and show people not necessarily show people your value, just show people who you are as an individual on a character level. And you're just introduce yourself. Depending on their receptiveness, you continue the conversation or you bid them farewell. That's it. In a night, if you do that 20 times, you'll find at least one person. This is assuming you're like a 2 out of 10 on attractiveness. You'll find at least one girl who's like, I like this guy. And that's the girl that you talk to.
Exactly.
That's the girl you try to pursue a relationship with.
And that's how guys who have this thing where they're like, I don't approach women because I don't chase. I know my value. Bro, I don't chase women, bro. You know what I'm saying? But first of all, any woman who's going to like, if you're a man sitting around waiting on women to choose you and chase you by physically opening you and pursuing a relationship, you're feminine and she's masculine at that point. Like, I don't want to be in that dynamic in general. Do women hit on me? I mean, definitely. But I don't wait on that. I can walk into a restaurant and see some beautiful women who don't even see me, and I will approach and see if they choose. And that's all it is. It's campaigning. Maybe it's not promoting. It's no sweat in the game. Either you like me or you don't. But bitch, if you like me, then we got something in common. You know what I'm saying? I like that.
That's right.
And that's what I do.
That's right.
I look for the women who like me, man. Because I like me. So if you like me, I like me. I want to see if I like you. And if we do, now it's a groovy, happy family. And we can get it popping. Yee! You know what I mean? Like that.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. All right, man, we're going to step out tonight. Thank you so much, Grenda, for joining on this podcast episode. This is streaming everywhere. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, your grandma's radio. You know what I'm saying? Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. We are everywhere. Worldwide Jaguars Den. Make sure you join our free school community for a limited time only. Go to the link in my bio on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, and you can join my free school course. Download the app SKOOL and type in Jaguars Den or Cameron Devon Crew. It'll come up, put in your name, email, get in there 5 hours of information about self-development, outer game, and success with women. Everything you need to know to make your mama proud today. Yes, indeed, man. Do you have any closing words?
I think you pretty much said everything I need to say. So thank you, brother.
Yes, indeed, man. All right.